There's an old saying around these parts: once you've dug yourself into a hole, you can't dig yourself out. Well, not knowing anything about rural culture and its wisdom, J.D. Vance done dug himself into a hole, and he just keeps on a digging. In a next day rally in Michigan that got opened up to questions, J.D. Vance just proved again that he's just a smarter version of Donald Trump. He can lie more smoothly, calmly, and with an air of intellectualism and feigned humanity that was always way beyond Trump's ability. So, a slicker version of the greatest American con man. Is it just me? But that ain't saying much. So, yes, after his stunningly slick debate performance that blew up in his face with a major gaffe in the end, Vance headed off to a Michigan rally. What the mainstream media is not telling you is that Vance headed to Michigan so he could confront Oakland University students Marcus and Nora, who absolutely schooled him on the things he said at the debate. And yes, I'm going to wait for you to make the connection there between college students and schooling Vance. You see what I did there, huh? Trying to keep the momentum going, Vance took questions from the audience and, in the process, revealed a bombshell about the campaign. Until now, the reigning wisdom is that billionaire Peter Thiel pushed Vance's candidacy to Donald Trump Jr., who then pressed Vance onto Don Old Trump. Vance today admitted the truth about the real trusted Trump advisor who suggested Vance, and the press is now rushing to cover it. Watch this.
And you know what the president told me? He said that he talked to everybody about who his vice presidential nominee should be. And I think that's one of the great things is he's willing to take feedback. Of course, he makes the final decision, but he's willing to take inputs from everybody. And he even said that he was talking to the Mar-a-Lago gardener about who the vice presidential nominee should be.
The Mar-a-Lago gardener. Well, it's not hard to believe why Donald Trump would listen to her. We all know his proclivities. But why on earth did she recommend Vance? But if you think that's the only stupid thing J.D. Vance said today, then you just don't know J.D. Vance. Here he is tipping his hand on how the Republicans are planning to steal this election.
By the way, to all of you listening out there, I believe that we are going to have the safest and most secure election in 2024 that we've had because the RNC is fighting for election integrity in a way that it frankly wasn't 4 years ago.
So, right, the reason that Republicans are not canvassing for Trump is because they have an army of people lined up for voter suppression instead. People who are going to challenge individual voters and their registration right there at the polls. People who are going to claim cheating at local polling places and harass polling and precinct workers. And then, when it's over, they are going to be the backbone of evidence about cheating. But the best part of the rally by far was Vance doubling down on his biggest gaffe last night, his refusal to accept the results of the 2020 election. Vance had the entire night and a dozen spin doctors at his disposal, and the best their crisis management could come up with was a deflection so lame that not a single Ohio high schooler caught smoking pot in the boys' room would try and use it. Listen.
Hi, Senator Will Jones from Local 4.
Hey, Will.
I spoke with some elected officials or election officials last week about their concern about people who are trying to undermine our elections. Why didn't you answer the question last night during the debate about who won the 2020 presidential election?
Well, look, here's the simple reason. The media is obsessed with talking about the election of 4 years ago. I'm focused on the election of 33 days from now.
So, okay, first of all, did you notice how our friendly local news reporter raised a ruckus with this question? You can hear other rally goers shouting things after he does. MAGA enthusiasts are trained to attack the media, but Vance would rather sell out the reputation of Yale Law School than answer the question. I'm so focused on this? Really? So Yale Law School graduates can only think of one thing at a time? And then blame the media The media is obsessed with the fact that the demented Republican nominee for president only admitted to losing a week ago. And even then, we're not sure that it was him or just the dementia speaking. But yeah, the media is the problem. Your crowds still won't accept that fact, but the media is the problem. That deflection was so bad that Fox News cut away from the rally very shortly after Vance said it. And the reason is clear. Fox is still hurting from paying out $787 million for its lies about Dominion voting machines. They really don't want to be seen peddling more lies about the 2020 election. The last thing we should do, however, is think that this is just a stupid off-the-cuff gaffe. Vance had plenty of time with campaign staff to craft a response to a question they knew was coming. This is all part of a broader plan to steal this election. They don't want to retreat from their earlier claims when they're making their claims this year about voter fraud and vote theft. They want to create a foundation of continuing election abuse. There is still one countermove against this plan. We have to turn out in numbers so huge they can't get away with trying to steal this election. We need a blue tsunami in November. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.